Tweyanza nnyo tweyanzege bwana Sibugwawo reporter gagava mu nkambi Olusaniya Common Man's Party. Honorable Richard Sebamala, Member of Parliament for Bukoto Central, joins us now to share his analysis of his look of things so far. Honorable, what do you think is defining the campaign so far? Do you feel the pulse yet?
Good morning, viewers. Of course, like the last campaign, more of what we expected in the last campaign, if it wasn't for COVID, is what is happening today. The General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, Tibuhaburwa was expected to have mass numbers the way you see them out of Kampala. And of course, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu was supposed to have the mass numbers, mainly in Central, a few places in Eastern Uganda, and a few opposition-centered places like...
You seem to be placing it on a two-horse race already.
Yeah, because the rest are not winning. We would think that by now, out of the, from the, is it eighth? When they registered
20
from the 23rd.
Yes.
Yeah. When by now the opposition candidates would have already realized that who would have already realized who is stronger, and they would have been making a coalition by now to make a stronger statement. If the opposition candidates today were all in danger, you would see the campaign would be very different from what you're seeing today. If Nandala Mafabi, at least if Nandala Mafabi, Mugisha Muntu, and Robert Kyagulanyi were on one platform in Eastern Uganda, today things would be very different. But for as long as everyone is still where they are, scattered. Nandala Mafabi is concentrating on his, he's moving all over the country, but the mass numbers you saw in Njeru is because Njeru is a mixed, is a mixed tribal thing in Njeru, so he could get some numbers. He will get more numbers in Bugishu, but you might find that he will not have more, and a bit of Teso where the wife comes from, but you might find that he might not get a lot of numbers, maybe in Central, in West Nile, in Kotido, in Karamoja. You will find his mass is very low. So what I expect
do we really need to spend so much splitting hairs on who commands more crowds, which I think is now running as the biggest feature?
Actually, it would be on who is saying what, but our electorate is not yet there. Today would be on who has a better manifesto, who is, coming up with better policies, better agricultural policies, better education policies, better infrastructure policies. That is what we would be looking at as a country. That is what we would be looking at as an electorate. But that only commands around 20% of the people that vote. The rest of the voters actually enjoy seeing numbers on TikTok, enjoy seeing numbers in WhatsApp groups and crowds in WhatsApp groups. Even the media trend. The media actually sprouts the vigor of the candidate and the base of the candidate.
You belong to the opposition.
I belong to the opposition.
What explains the irony that you've not jumped on board to support any of the candidates? I would naturally expect you on Bobby's campaign trail, maybe.
I support Bobby Wine as a person, but not NUP as a party. What Bobby says as a person, I believe, is the right thing he has to say, and it's the right message that would be driven for the opposition.
Is his message striking the right chord? Do you think he's speaking to the people, or he's dwelling on non-issues?
Of course, every candidate has a good side and a bad side. If you talk about removing PDM, that is now on the law. Because as much as PDM is not working, leave it the way it is and improve. Or start another policy that could take people out of poverty. It does not mean that if PDM is bad, then you have to, rubbish it and take it away. That is, of course, but on the issues of education, on the issues of health, issues or other infrastructure issues, all of them come up and talk about them, but none of them is giving us solutions. Because the solution would be, this is how we are going to improve our taxes, and this is how much investors this is the number of investors I'm going to attract. When I reduce this tax, when I come up with this tax regime, this is what I'm going to do. So we shall be saving this amount of money if we end the embezzlement of the 10 trillion every year. This is what, and this is how I'm going to make sure that it ends, or I cut it by half. Then we shall have this amount of money, which will do ABCD. This is what I wanted to hear from most of the candidates that are in the campaign today. At least for the elites to understand them. Others will not understand them, but at least the elites would have understood their policies, their tax regimes, how they are going to beat the issues of embezzlement.
Yeah, but you realize it's constrained by time.
But you come up, whatever the time, whatever there's a lot of there are a lot of ways you can reach the public now, and we'll be seeing these things coming up on. Things like TikTok, there will be something that shows that actually there is this point that is striking between the opposition and the ruling government. But what you're seeing today is an opposition of, we are either for Bobi Wine or we are for Museveni. That is all, for President Museveni. That is what is in the campaign.
Okay, talking about the highs and lows, do you think the Bobi Wine of 2021 is any different from the Bobi of today?
I believe he has not gotten stronger. He has not gotten stronger. He has maintained. And I believe it is because there is no better option for the opposition. The opposition did not, of the candidates that are campaigning today under the opposition, one, you see that Mugisha Muntu, the way he displays himself and the way he articulates issues, very few of the voters will understand him. However good he is, very few will understand his ways. They find Munyagwa a joker. As much as he's commanding a few crowds and talking points, people have not yet felt him as one person. His perception is not of one that is going to take over the country and be a president of this country. When you look at the other three, Bulira,
Elton John
Mabirizi, and the one of Kasibante. People have not even taken them serious. It's like they are not in the race. They are there, but people do not feel that they can take over presidency of this country. So the rest remains on the three.
Is this campaign coming with any X factor, anything exciting? Or it's so lukewarm?
That's what I said, that what we expected in 2021, hadn't it been for COVID, is what we are seeing today. President Museveni in 2021 did not go out for mass campaigns. He was in a COVID setting campaign, mainly meeting his structures and then giving them a way forward. Today he has decided to go out. The other campaigns, Bobby was out on the trail. He commanded numbers. Today he's still commanding the numbers. So it remains the same as it was in 2021. Although this time the feel and the vigor before elections is not the way it was that time. 2021 was high. By the time we reached the 2021 poll, people were really excited to see change.
What kind of worries?
As of today,
what kind of worries are manifesting in this campaign? What do you see? A worrying trend? Could be a worrying trend.
What I see is one, the opposition has split its numbers. That is worrying me actually the more. The other thing that is worrying me of everything that we have talked about, the policies of this government over the 5 years or over the 4 years, I didn't expect President Museveni to garner such crowds. We thought that, people might have understood.
That he has faded.
Yeah, we thought, I not even thought. We thought we have talked to these people, we've told them what's happening in the country, and they now know what's going on. So I didn't expect the President Museveni to garner such crowd. For as long as he's garnering such crowd, what's worrying is he might win this election. as we are speaking here, he might win because of everything
It's
that we
too
have said
early,
about,
isn't it?
We have talked about embezzlement, we've talked about infrastructure, we've talked about unemployment, we've almost talked with the health issues that NBS has put up different documentaries about health, about very many things. As of today, we would see a downsize in the crowds of the president of President Museveni. But you see the crowds have remained the same as they have been in these other years. So that worries me. That at the end of it all, you might find that, this person is...
You want
the
to
other thing
suggest...
is, the other thing...